Welcome to our channel, where we bring you the most spine-chilling tales and unsettling true stories. Today, we have a story: The Path to Redemption. Awakening the healer within. The opening scene unfolds in a quaint suburban neighborhood, the sun setting behind a canopy of tall, leafy trees that line the sidewalks. The camera pans to a beautiful, two-story house with a neatly trimmed lawn, a white picket fence, and a swing gently swaying in the cool evening breeze. Inside, the warm light from the windows spills out onto the street, revealing a portrait of domestic bliss. This is the Wilder household, and at its heart is Sam Wilder, a man who seems to have it all. Sam, in his early 40s, is a renowned lawyer, known for his sharp intellect and unshakable confidence. His chiseled jaw and piercing blue eyes are the embodiment of success and stability. His wife, Emily, is a successful doctor with a gentle smile that could soothe the most troubled souls. Their children, Lily, a bright-eyed 7-year-old, and Jake, a mischievous 5-year-old, are the living embodiment of innocence and joy. The Wilder family's life is a tapestry of love, achievement, and harmony, and they are the envy of all who know them. The episode begins with Sam arriving home from a particularly grueling day at work, his briefcase weighing heavily on his shoulder. He's greeted by the scent of Emily's homemade lasagna wafting through the air, and the sound of Lily's laughter as she chases Jake through the hallway. The children come barreling into the living room, a tornado of energy and giggles, as they tackle their father to the floor. Emily, with an apron draped over her professional attire, smiles at the sight, her eyes sparkling with love and amusement. The dinner is a delightful affair, filled with the sounds of clinking silverware and the children's chatter about their day at school. Sam tells tales of his courtroom victories, and Emily shares the triumphs of her patients' recoveries. The family shares a warmth that is palpable, even to the unseen audience. Yet, beneath this facade of perfection, there is a crack in their foundation, a shadow that even they are oblivious to. Enter Richard, Sam's cousin, who has always felt overshadowed by Sam's success. He watches from afar, a green-eyed monster festering in the shadow of Sam's achievements. Richard, a man of average height with a thinning hairline and a perpetual scowl, is a stark contrast to Sam's charm and poise. His eyes narrow as he observes the Wilder family's happiness, and in his hand, he clutches a tattered, ancient book, a grimoire of dark magic. In a dimly lit room, Richard opens the grimoire, revealing pages filled with archaic symbols and incantations. His resentment boils over as he reads through the spells, his voice a whispered snarl. He settles on one that promises to shake the very core of the one who dares to stand in the shadow of another's light. He begins the ritual, the candles flickering with each word he speaks, the air thickening with malevolent intent. The next day, as Sam prepares for work, he notices a peculiar, unexplained coldness from Emily. He brushes it off as a bad mood, but the tension lingers. At the office, his cases start to unravel, clients become elusive, and his once steadfast confidence wavers. Meanwhile, strange occurrences begin to plague the Wilder household. Lily's dolls mysteriously move around her room at night, and Jake insists there's a monster under his bed. As the days pass, the family's idyllic life starts to crumble. Emily grows distant, the children act out, and Sam's career takes a nosedive. His once unshakable belief in justice and truth is shaken as he confronts a series of defeats in court. The family's harmony is disrupted by unexplained fights and mistrust. One evening, as Sam pores over his legal briefs, hoping to find a thread of hope in his deteriorating career, he stumbles upon an old family photo. His gaze lingers on Richard's sour expression in the background. A sudden chill runs down his spine, and he recalls a childhood memory of Richard's odd fascination with the macabre and the occult. Determined to uncover the source of their misfortune, Sam delves into his family's history and discovers a long line of feuds and curses. His curiosity piqued, he decides to confront Richard at his eccentric mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion is a stark contrast to the Wilder's home, a place of opulence and decay, where cobwebs hang like tapestries, and the air is heavy with the scent of incense and decay. The tension between the cousins is palpable as Sam confronts Richard, demanding to know if he has anything to do with the recent string of misfortune. Richard feigns innocence, his eyes gleaming with a sinister glee that belies his words. However, as Sam leaves, a knowing smile plays on Richard's lips, hinting at a dark secret. The episode culminates in a dramatic confrontation as Sam returns home to find his house in chaos. The lights flicker, objects fly across the room, and a ghostly apparition manifests before him. The children are terrified, clutching their mother, who is equally distraught. With his world in turmoil, Sam makes a desperate call to a friend, a man who dabbles in the arcane, seeking help to lift the curse. The friend, a middle-aged man named Marcus with a wild beard and an air of mystery, arrives with an assortment of crystals, herbs, and ancient tomes. He explains that Richard has indeed cast a powerful malevolent spell, one that feeds on their fear and anger. The final act is a race against time as Sam, Emily, and Marcus perform a counter-ritual to banish the curse. The house trembles, the wind howls, and the shadows come alive as they battle the malevolent forces unleashed by Richard's envy. The sun had barely crested the horizon when Sam Wilder, groggy-eyed and disheveled, stumbled into the kitchen of his pristine suburban home. The faint scent of coffee beckoned him to the gleaming chrome machine, a silent sentinel standing guard over the granite countertops. As the first drops of liquid gold trickled into his mug, he stifled a yawn, his reflection in the spotless window panes revealing the dark circles that had taken up residence under his eyes. The past few weeks had been a blur of doctor's appointments and late-night research sessions as his family's health mysteriously deteriorated. His daughter, Lily, a vibrant and curious 7-year-old, had grown lethargic, her once bright eyes now clouded with a persistent sadness. His son, Jake, an energetic 10-year-old, complained of migraines so severe they left him unable to attend school, and Emily, his loving wife, the bedrock of his life, had lost her appetite, her skin pale and drawn. The quiet hum of the fridge was the only sound in the kitchen, a stark contrast to the usual morning symphony of laughter and chatter. The silence was a grim reminder of the joy that had been stolen from them. The digital clock on the oven flickered to 6:15 a.m., and Sam's stomach clenched with dread as he recalled the dream that had jolted him from his fitful sleep. In the dream, Richard, his smarmy cousin with a penchant for dark secrets, had been standing over their family portrait, a twisted smile playing on his lips as he whispered incantations that caused the smiles in the picture to fade into grimaces of pain. Sam had tried to scream, to warn his loved ones, but his voice had been trapped in his throat, a silent spectator to their torment. He shook his head, banishing the nightmare to the shadows of his mind. Richard had always been jealous of Sam's success, but to wish such a heinous fate upon them, it was unthinkable. And yet, the evidence was undeniable. In the dining room, a solitary chair lay on its side, the tablecloth rumpled. Above it, a chandelier swung gently, casting eerie shadows across the walls. The previous night, the children had claimed they heard whispers, faint but insistent, urging them to do things they knew were wrong. Sam had checked the house, but found nothing amiss. Only their trembling bodies and tear-stained faces had convinced him that something malevolent was at play. The doorbell chimed, interrupting his troubled thoughts. Dr. Laura Harris, a pediatrician recommended by a friend, stepped into the foyer. Sam greeted her with forced cheer, trying to ignore the worrying etched into her brow as she took in the scene before her. She had come to the house at his behest, unable to find any medical explanation for the children's ailments. As they moved through the hallways, the walls seemed to whisper secrets only they could hear. The children's laughter, once the heartbeat of the house, was now replaced by the mournful wail of a floorboard creaking underfoot. Lily sat slumped on the living room couch, her once bright hair now a dull mop hanging in front of her eyes. Jake lay in his darkened room, the migraines making even the softest light unbearable. "I've tried everything," Sam confessed, his voice cracking. Vitamins, specialists, even acupuncture. Dr. Laura's eyes searched his, looking for the truth he hadn't yet spoken. And the whispers, "It's just the house settling," he lied, knowing full well that the sounds were far more sinister. The doctor examined the children, her professionalism a facade that barely concealed her own fear. As she took her leave, she whispered to Sam, "If it's not physical, it might be psychological." Or, she trailed off, not daring to voice the suspicion that had been growing in her mind. That evening, as Sam sat at the dinner table, his family's forks clinking against their plates in a forced semblance of normalcy, the whispers grew louder, the lights flickered, and a cold breeze swept through the room, sending a shiver down his spine. Emily, her voice barely a whisper, spoke the words that had been haunting Sam. "It's a curse, isn't it?" He looked at her, his heart breaking. "I don't know what it is, but I'll find a way to fix this." With each passing day, the curse tightened its grip. The whispers grew bolder, the shadows deeper, objects moved of their own accord, and the air grew thick with an unseen malevolence. Sam's obsession grew, his once thriving legal practice now a distant memory as he scoured ancient tomes and consulted with experts in the occult. One rainy afternoon, he stumbled upon a dusty book in the local library's restricted section, bound in a leather that seemed to pulse with dark energy. It spoke of a curse that could be broken only by the one who had cast it, and the toll it would take on the one who sought to undo it. The family's finances dwindled as Sam's quest consumed him. His once tailored suits hung loosely on his frame, his eyes sunken, unhaunted. The house, once a bastion of happiness, had become a prison of fear and doubt. In the quiet of the night, as the rain tapped a morose rhythm against the windows, Sam finally found the strength to confront Richard. The man's house was a stark contrast to the welcoming warmth of his own, a place where shadows danced in every corner, and the air felt thick with spite. "Why?" Sam demanded, his voice trembling with rage. Richard's smile was cold, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Why not?" he replied, his words dripping with spite. "You had everything I ever wanted." The truth hit Sam like a sledgehammer. His family's suffering was the price of Richard's envy. But as he glared into the eyes of the man who had shattered their lives, he knew that anger would not save them. Only the power of love and determination could break the chains that bound them. In a desperate bid to free his family, Sam turned to an unlikely ally, a local witch named Elara. Her cottage was nestled in the woods, a place where the whispers of fate grew clearer, and the veil between worlds grew thinner. "The curse is strong," Elara warned, her eyes flickering with an ancient wisdom, "but not unbreakable." Together, they devised a plan. Sam would confront Richard during the next full moon, when the veil was at its thinnest, and demand he undo the curse. If he refused, Sam would have to find the strength to fight the darkness within himself and destroy the dark magic at its source. The night of the full moon arrived, the sky a canvas of inky blackness, the moon a baleful eye peering down upon them. Sam, armed with nothing but the truth and his love for his family, stood before Richard, who was surrounded by a coven of shadowy figures. "End this," Sam demanded, his voice echoing through the clearing. Richard sneered. "Why should I? You've taken everything from me." Their eyes locked, and in that moment, Sam saw the pathetic, spiteful man he had allowed to fester in the shadows of his life. He knew that Richard was a lost cause, consumed by his own bitterness. With a roar that seemed to shake the very earth, Sam tapped into a well of power he never knew existed. The air crackled with energy as he stepped forward, the whispers of fate swirling around him. It's a tornado of truth. The confrontation was fierce, a battle of wills that raged across the clearing. Richard's dark magic clashed with Sam's burgeoning light, the air shimmering with the intensity of their struggle. As the moon reached its zenith, Emily, Lily, and Jake appeared, their spirits weak, but their love unyielding. The sight of them gave Sam the strength to break free from the curse's grip, and together, they formed a circle of light that pushed back the darkness. The curse, unable to withstand the power of their love, shattered into a million pieces, the shadows retreating before them. Richard, his eyes wide with terror, disappeared into the night, his fate left to the mercy of the supernatural forces he had so recklessly invoked. In the aftermath, the family returned to their home, the whispers silenced. The house, once a tomb of despair, was now a bastion of hope. Their lives would never be the same, but they had emerged stronger, bound by the unshakable love that had seen them through the darkest of times. As they stepped over the threshold, the door creaked shut behind them, and the house sighed with relief, its walls echoing with the whispers of fate that had been laid to rest. The rain beats down relentlessly upon the cobblestone streets of the old town, reflecting the tumultuous emotions within Sam Wilder's soul. The once renowned lawyer now trudges through the puddles, his usually impeccable suit rumpled and damp, a stark contrast to the gleaming office towers he used to command. His eyes, once sharp and full of confidence, are now bloodshot and haunted, searching for a glimmer of hope amidst a dreary downpour. His heart aches for the laughter of his children, Lily and Jake, and the gentle touch of his wife, Emily, whose lives have been twisted into a macabre dance of pain and despair by the unseen whispers of fate. Sam's journey to this desolate place began with the subtle whispers of an ancestral vendetta. His envious relative, Richard, had always felt the sting of Sam's success, a success that seemed to illuminate the cracks in Richard's own life. Driven by envy and bitterness, Richard delved into the shadows, embracing the arcane. Unseen by the world, he had cast a curse upon Sam's family, one that would slowly unravel the very fabric of their existence. The door to Sister Maria's quaint cottage, nestled at the end of a winding lane, creaks open, revealing a warm, candlelit sanctuary. The scent of incense and herbs fills the air, mingling with the faint whispers of ancient prayers. Sister Maria, a woman of timeless beauty, stands before Sam, her eyes gleaming with a knowing that seems to pierce the very essence of his being. Her smile is gentle, but her gaze is unyielding as she takes his hand in hers. Her skin is cool and soft, a stark contrast to the fiery determination in her grip. "Samuel Wilder," she says, her voice a soothing melody that seems to resonate within the very core of his being. "Your path is one of shadows, but fear not, for I sense a beacon of hope within you." The journey of the Wilder family's descent into chaos had been swift and brutal. Lily's once boundless energy had been replaced by lethargy, and Jake's laughter by silent tears. Emily, ever the rock, had grown frail, her vibrant spirit diminished by an invisible weight that neither doctor nor medicine could lift. The house, once a bastion of love and joy, had become a prison of fear and doubt. Strange noises in the night, objects moving of their own accord, and the palpable sense of malevolence had all conspired to fray the very threads of their sanity. Sister Maria's cottage, a bastion of peace amidst the storm, becomes a place of learning for Sam. She teaches him the ancient art of spiritual protection, guiding him through meditation and ritual with the patience of a saint and the precision of a master craftsman. Each day, he grows more attuned to the unseen world, his skepticism gradually giving way to a nascent belief in the power of the arcane. As the lessons progress, Sam's mind is open to the possibility that the cure for his family's suffering lies in the very place he had always dismissed, the realm of the supernatural. He learns to feel the currents of energy that flow through the world, to see the auras that surround living things, and to understand the whispers of the spirits that dwell in the shadows. Sister Maria speaks of the delicate balance between light and dark, of the ancient battle between good and evil that continues to this very day. One evening, as the rain outside tapers to a soft drizzle, Sister Maria reveals the truth of the curse. "It is not just any dark magic that plagues your family," she says, her eyes filled with a solemn gravitas. "It is the work of a powerful practitioner, one who holds a deep-seated grudge against you." Sam's heart sinks as he realizes the culprit is none other than Richard, the very person he had trusted and loved. "But why?" he gasps, his voice a ragged whisper. "The heart of a man can be a dark and twisted thing," Sister Maria replies, her voice filled with compassion. "Sometimes, it is the very ones we hold dear who harbor the deepest resentments. Armed with newfound knowledge and a burgeoning gift, Sam embarks on a quest to confront Richard and lift the curse. The air is thick with tension as he approaches his relative's mansion, a monolith of cold stone and wrought iron that seems to loom over the rest of the town. He's greeted by a cacophony of cawing ravens, their eyes gleaming with a sinister intelligence that sends shivers down his spine. Inside, the house is a maze of shadows and secrets. Sam navigates the corridors, his senses on high alert as the whispers of the curse grow louder. He finds Richard in a hidden chamber, surrounded by the artifacts of his dark obsession. The room is a tableau of occult power, the very air crackling with malicious intent. The confrontation is explosive. Richard sneers, his eyes alight with the madness of his obsession. "You always had everything," he spits. "Everything I ever wanted." Sam, now a beacon of hope in the face of darkness, stands firm. "Your envy has brought us here," he says, his voice resonating with the power of his newfound belief. "But I will not let it destroy us." A battle of wills ensues, a silent dance of energy and emotion that leaves the very fabric of the room trembling. The curse, a living, malevolent entity, writhes and coils around them, feeding on their anger and despair. Sister Maria's teachings guide Sam. He fights back, drawing on the love of his family and the light within his own soul. The struggle seems endless, a tug of war between the forces of light and dark. Yet, as the night wears on, something shifts. The ravens outside begin to scatter, their calls turning to cries of distress. The candles in the chamber flicker brighter, and the shadows retreat. With a final, desperate effort, Sam shatters the curse, casting it back into the abyss from whence it came. Richard, defeated and broken, falls to his knees, his eyes wide with shock and horror at what he has wrought. The following days are a blur of healing and redemption. Sam's family, their spirits restored, slowly begin to recover from the curse's grip. The house, once a prison, now feels like home again, filled with the warmth of love and the gentle embrace of normalcy. Richard, his sanity frayed by his obsession, is left to face the consequences of his actions, a stark reminder of the dangers of envy and resentment. In the quiet moments that follow, as the world's lives slowly mend, Sam reflects on his journey. The illusion of perfection has been shattered, but in its place, a deeper, more profound truth has emerged: the strength of the human spirit, the power of love, and the enduring hope that even in the darkest of times, a beacon of light can guide us home. The Wilder family sitting around a dinner table, their laughter echoing through the halls. They are bruised but not broken, their bonds stronger than ever. As they share a meal, a single candle flickers in the center, a symbol of the hope that has carried them through the storm. Episode 4 expanded. Sam Wilder, a man once hailed as the epitome of success, now walks through the hallways with a weight that seems to have grown heavier with each passing day. His eyes are sunken, his smile a distant memory, and his shoulders are burdened with a new responsibility: to save his family from the clutches of a dark force that has invaded their lives. In the morning, Sam enters the kitchen, the scent of stale coffee lingering in the air. Emily, his wife, sits at the table, her eyes red from lack of sleep. Their children, Lily and Jake, are unusually quiet, the usual clatter of breakfast replaced by the uneasy silence that has come to define their mornings. Emily teary-eyed. "Sam, the doctors said they couldn't find anything. How is this happening?" Sam with determination. "We're going to get through this, Em. We just need to keep looking." The doorbell rings, and a gust of hope enters with Sister Maria. Her presence is a stark contrast to the gloom of the house, a beacon of light in the shadows. In daytime, in living room, Sister Maria sits cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by candles, crystals, and ancient texts. Sam, dressed in a simple white shirt and pants, kneels opposite her, a man of law now a student of the unexplained. "Sister Maria, you must learn to let go of your skepticism." "Sam, the world is not as simple as it seems." Sam sighs. "I've seen enough to know that." Sister Maria, good. Now, the first lesson is purification. The curse is a living entity. It feeds on fear and anger. We must cleanse this space of all negative energy. Sister Maria guides Sam through a ritual involving sage, incense, and blessed water. They move from room to room, chanting in a language that sounds as old as time itself. The children watch from a distance, their curiosity mixed with fear. The air seems to lighten with each step they take, the shadows retreating. Sam, now more comfortable with the ritualistic process, begins to learn the basics of protective spells. Sister Maria's gentle voice fills the room with incantations that resonate with power. Sister Maria, these are the whispers of the ancients, Sam. When spoken with pure intent, they can shield even the most vulnerable from the darkest of forces. The days blur into nights as Sam's apprenticeship deepens. He learns to weave protective circles, how to imbue objects with positive energy, and the art of reading the subtle signs that the universe sends their way. At night time, Sam sits by Emily's side, their hands entwined. Her breathing is shallow, and her skin is pale. Lily and Jake are tucked in bed, finally asleep after a restless evening. Sam whispers, "You're going to be okay. I won't let this happen to us." Emily weakly smiles. "I know you'll do everything you can." Late night in Sam's office, the soft glow of the moon casts long shadows across the room. Sam pores over Sister Maria's texts, his eyes scanning the pages for any clue that could help him combat the curse. His desk is a mess of notes, herbs, and crystals. The next day in living room, the family gathers for dinner, the atmosphere slightly less oppressive. Sister Maria nods in approval at the progress. "Sister Maria, you're doing well, Sam. But the curse is ancient and cunning. To break it, you must understand its origins." Sister Maria's library is a treasure trove of knowledge, filled with dusty tomes and artifacts that whisper secrets of the arcane. Sister Maria leads Sam to a hidden corner. "Sister Maria, this is where your real education begins. The curse was cast by Richard, but it's rooted in something much older." The following scenes are a montage of Sam's intense training. He learns the history of the curse, the lineage of dark practitioners, and the intricate dance of light and shadow. His days are filled with meditation, his nights with dreams of ancient battles between good and evil. At night the house is quiet, the children sleeping peacefully. Sam and Sister Maria stand in the center of a complex, glowing protection circle. "Sister Maria, now, Sam, you must face the shadows within yourself. Only then can you truly protect your family." Sam is plunged into his subconscious, a swirling realm of his deepest fears and insecurities. He confronts a twisted version of Richard, who represents the curse itself. Sam shaking, "What do you want from us?" Richard cackles, "I want what you have, your happiness, your love, your life." In living room, Sam, trembling, emerges from the ritual. Sister Maria's hand is firm on his shoulder. "Sister Maria, you've faced the darkness. Now you must embrace the light." As the episode progresses, Sam's newfound skills are put to the test. Small miracles occur, the children's health improves, and the malevolent whispers that haunted their nights begin to fade. Yet, the curse is not fully lifted. It lingers, biding its time. At night in master bedroom, Emily is sleeping peacefully, the first time in weeks. Sam sits by her side, a newfound peace in his eyes. He knows the battle is far from over, but for now, there's a semblance of normalcy. The next morning, Sister Maria presents Sam with an ancient tome, its pages yellowed with age. "Sister Maria, this is the final piece of the puzzle, Sam. It contains the most advanced spells and the story of the original curse." The episode culminates with Sam's discovery of a powerful countercurse, one that requires the purest of intentions and the deepest love. It's a spell that can only be cast by someone willing to sacrifice their own happiness for the sake of their family. The final night in the living room, the air is thick with anticipation as Sam prepares to perform the most complex ritual of his life. The house is adorned with protective symbols, and the family is gathered, their eyes filled with hope and fear. Sister Maria stands beside him, her hand resting on his shoulder as he recites the ancient incantation. The room vibrates with power, the air crackling with energy. Sam faces Richard once more, but this time, he's armed with the light of love and the strength of his convictions. With a final, powerful declaration, Sam breaks the curse, The room lights up, and the tension dissipates. The family huddles together, their tears of fear now replaced with tears of relief. The first laughter the Wilder family has shared in a long time. They stand together, their bond stronger than ever, ready to face whatever the future holds. The final scene shows Sam, Emily, Lily, and Jake standing in the doorway of their home, watching the sun rise. The camera pans out to reveal a neighborhood slowly coming to life. The curse may be broken, but the journey has just begun. Sam Wilder, his eyes bloodshot from countless sleepless nights, poring over dusty tomes and ancient scrolls in Sister Maria's dimly lit library. The once skeptical lawyer has become a devoted student of the arcane, his Gucci suits replaced by simple, unblemished white garments as he embarks on a quest to save his family from the shadowy grip of the curse. His hands tremble with a mix of anticipation and fear as he runs his fingers over the brittle pages, each one whispering of a world that defies his logical mind. The camera pans to Sister Maria, who watches him from a distance, a knowing smile playing on her lips. She has seen this transformation before, the transition from doubt to faith in the face of the inexplicable. "You're ready," she says, her voice soothing as a lullaby. Sister Maria sits Sam down and reveals the true nature of the curse. It is not just a simple hex, but a generational vendetta that has been festering for centuries. The roots of the curse are deeply embedded in the very fabric of his family's lineage, a tapestry woven from dark secrets and ancient pacts. Together, they trace the Wilder family tree back to its earliest branches, uncovering tales of deceit, power, and greed. Each ancestor's story is a puzzle piece in the grander scheme, and as they lay them out, a picture of a long-standing feud with the cunning Richard emerges. The haunting of the Wilder house reaches a crescendo. Lily and Jake's cries echo through the halls as their ailments worsen. Emily, desperate and exhausted, clings to her husband, begging him to find a way to end their torment. Sam, armed with his newfound knowledge and nascent mystical abilities, conducts a powerful cleansing ritual. The house shudders and groans as the dark energy is expelled, but it is only a temporary reprieve. Guided by Sister Maria, Sam ventures into the hidden chambers of the library, where the souls of the long-departed whisper their stories. He searches for the original pact that binds his family to Richard's malevolent intent. Amidst the dust and shadows, he finds an ancient tome that seems to pulse with malicious intent. With trembling hands, Sam opens the tome, revealing a parchment that seems to be written in his own blood. It details a pact between his great-grandfather and a shadowy figure, a deal that granted the family wealth and status in exchange for their future generations' happiness. Sam feels the weight of his ancestors' folly crushing his soul. Sister Maria tells Sam that the only way to break the curse is to confront Richard at the heart of the labyrinth he has created from the darkest recesses of their shared past. Sam must navigate this twisted maze, facing the ghosts of his ancestors' sins and his own fears. Armed with the tome and an amulet imbued with the light of Sister Maria's protection, Sam descends into the labyrinth. The walls close in around him, whispering taunts and secrets that threaten to shatter his resolve. His family's anguished cries guide him through the maze's twists and turns. At the center of the labyrinth, Sam finds Richard, his eyes gleaming with malice. Richard sneers, revealing his true form, a specter of jealousy and spite. He tempts Sam with visions of a life free from struggle. If only he would embrace the darkness. Refusing to succumb, Sam invokes the purifying power of the amulet. A blinding light fills the chamber, and the spirits of his ancestors, now freed from the pact, rally around him. They implore Richard to release their descendants from his grasp. The air crackles with energy as the two men engage in a silent battle of wills. With a roar that shakes the very foundations of the labyrinth, Sam breaks the pact. The amulet flares, banishing Richard back to the netherworld and dissipating the curse. The labyrinth crumbles around them, and Sam emerges, exhausted but victorious. Sam rushes home to find his family healed and whole. They embrace, their love a bastion of light in the face of the darkness that has plagued them. Emily, her eyes glistening with tears, tells him she knew he would save them. As they rebuild their lives, Sam integrates his new spiritual practices into their daily routine. They perform small rituals of protection, and the house feels lighter, cleaner. The Wilder family's bond is stronger than ever, forged in the fires of adversity. One evening, a knock at the door brings an unexpected visitor, Sister Maria. She smiles warmly and tells Sam that his journey is far from over. There are others in need of his help, others trapped in the shadows. Sam looks at his family, then back at Sister Maria, and nods. Sam's sitting in his study, the door slightly ajar. His children, curious about their father's new calling, peeking to see him poring over his mystical texts. He looks up, noticing them, and smiles. "You're not scared of the dark, are you?" he asks. They shake their heads, and together, they begin to write their own story, one of hope, protection, and the triumph of light over darkness. The dawn breaks over the quiet, suburban neighborhood where the Wilder family home stands, a stark contrast to the tumult brewing within its walls. Sam Wilder, once the epitome of success and stability, now paces the floorboards of his study, a shadow of his former self. His eyes are sunken, his clothes rumpled, and his mind a whirlwind of desperation and doubt. The curse cast by his envious relative, Richard, has wreaked havoc on his family's lives, leaving a trail of inexplicable sickness and misfortune. Sister Maria, a beacon of hope in the storm of Sam's despair, knocks gently at the door. She has seen the depths of his struggle and knows the path ahead is fraught with challenges that will test not only his resolve, but also his very soul. With a knowing smile, she enters the room, bringing with her an air of serenity that seems almost tangible. "Sam," she says, her voice a gentle lilt of comfort, "today we begin your transformation into a mindful warrior. The battles you face are not of flesh and bone, but of the spirit. To conquer them, you must first conquer yourself." Her words hang in the air as Sam nods, his gaze lingering on the worn leather-bound book she holds. It is the tome of ancient wisdom that has guided her through countless battles against malevolent forces. With trembling hands, he takes the book from her, feeling its weight and the energy it contains. The training begins with a strict regimen of fasting and meditation. Sister Maria believes that to fight darkness, one must first purge oneself of all impurities. Each day, she leads Sam through a series of rigorous exercises designed to cleanse his body and sharpen his mind. He sits cross-legged in the center of a circle of protective crystals, candles flickering at each point. The incense fills the room with a heady scent that seems to ward off the malevolence that clings to him. The hours turn to days, and the days to weeks. Sam's body grows leaner, his eyes clearer, and his mind more focused. His skepticism wanes as he starts to see changes in his family's health. Emily, once a ghost of her former self, now has a hint of color in her cheeks. The children, Lily and Jake, laugh again, their eyes less haunted by the shadows that had taken up residence within them. But the true test of his mettle comes when Sister Maria tells him the time has come to confront the curse's source. "You must understand, Sam," she says, her eyes piercing through to his very soul. "This is not just about breaking the curse. It's about healing the rift in your family's lineage." With newfound determination, Sam dives into the arcane lore, his nights filled with the study of ancient texts and forgotten incantations. He learns of his ancestors' entanglement with dark forces and the pacts that were made in greed and desperation. As he peels back the layers of his family's history, he uncovers a tapestry of deceit and sorrow that stretches back generations. The house itself seems to breathe a sigh of relief as the negative energy dissipates, allowing the light of protection to seep in. Objects once tainted by the curse now gleam with a faint aura of purity. Sam's connection to the spirit world grows stronger, and he begins to feel the presence of benevolent entities that whisper words of encouragement and guidance. Sister Maria puts Sam through his paces, pushing him to his limits. They practice banishing rituals and warding spells until he can perform them in his sleep. His mind becomes a fortress, impervious to the whispers of doubt and fear that once plagued him. He learns to channel the power of the elements, harnessing the fiery passion of his heart and the icy calm of his intellect. The final phase of his training involves the most intense form of meditation, the silent scream. Sam must confront the darkest aspects of his soul and purge them with a cathartic roar that never leaves his lips. It is a battle of wills, of light against the abyss that threatens to consume him. His family watches from a safe distance, their faces a mix of fear and admiration. The night of the final showdown with Richard looms. Sam, now a mindful warrior, stands before his enemy, the book of wisdom in one hand and a crystal talisman in the other. His eyes, once filled with doubt, now burn with a fierce resolve. The confrontation is not physical but psychic, a clash of wills that sends ripples through the very fabric of reality. Richard, blinded by his own malice, does not anticipate the depth of Sam's spiritual power. As they face each other in a realm of shadows and echoes, Sam calls upon the ancestral spirits he has come to know and respect. They gather around him, a legion of ancestors standing in silent support. With a mighty effort, Sam breaks the generational curse, shattering the chains that bound his family to the whims of Richard's spite. The dark clouds that have shadowed their lives dissipate, revealing the azure sky of a new beginning. Back in the real world, the house is bathed in a soft, warm light. Emily and the children watch in awe as the curse lifts from their bodies, leaving them whole and healed. Richard, defeated and exposed, slumps to the floor, his power broken. The look in his eyes is one of shock and horror at the realization of what he has become. In the aftermath, Sam embraces his new role as the protector of his family's legacy. He continues to learn from Sister Maria, understanding that the battle against darkness is never truly won, only maintained. His children gaze up at him with newfound respect, seeing not just their father, but a guardian of the light. The episode closes with the Wilder family sitting around the dinner table, laughter filling the air. The shadows of the past have been banished, and a new chapter in their lives begins. But as the camera pans out, we see the flicker of candlelight in Sam's study, the ancient book open to a page that reads, "The mindful warrior's journey is endless, for the battle against the shadows is eternal." The strength of the mindful warrior is a tale of redemption and growth, a testament to the power of love and the resilience of the human spirit. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a beacon of hope to guide us home. Sam Wilder standing in the dimly lit sanctuary of Sister Maria's ancient abbey, his eyes fixed on a flickering candle. The flames dance mirrors the tumultuous journey he has embarked upon since the curse descended upon his family. The walls of the chamber are adorned with mystical symbols, the air thick with the scent of sage and incense. Sister Maria, her eyes filled with empathy and wisdom, stands beside him, her hands clasped in a gesture of guidance. Sam's reflection in a dusty mirror reveals a man transformed. The once confident and sharp-suited lawyer now sports a beard and wears the simple robes of a novice in the arcane arts. His eyes, once filled with skepticism, now brim with the intensity of a man who has seen the unseen. Sister Maria whispers, "Sam, the time has come to face the darkness. But remember, it is not your enemy that you confront, but the shadows within yourself." Sam determined, "I am ready, sister, for my family." Sister Maria leads Sam through the cobblestone corridors of the abbey, their footsteps echoing through the silence. They enter a chamber filled with ancient tomes and artifacts. A large, ornate tome sits open on a wooden podium at the center, its pages fluttering slightly as if inviting Sam to continue his study. Sam approaches the tome with a mix of trepidation and resolve. Sister Maria places her hand on his shoulder, imbuing him with the strength of her years of spiritual practice. Sister Maria, the final incantation is within these pages, Sam. But heed my warning, the power you seek is not for the faint of heart. It requires balance, lest you become what you seek to destroy. Sam's mind is flooded with images of his wife, Emily, and his children, Lily and Jake, writhing in pain and despair. The curse has ravaged their lives, turning their once idyllic home into a prison of fear and uncertainty. His resolve hardens as he vows to do whatever it takes to free them from the malevolent grip of his envious relative, Richard. Sam whispers, "I understand." The training montage begins with Sam practicing the incantations under Sister Maria's watchful eye. His voice falters at first, but with each repetition, it grows stronger, resonating with the power of his conviction. Sam learns to harness the energy of the elements, conjuring fiery shields, summoning gusts of wind, and commanding bolts of lightning. His body becomes a conduit for the forces of nature, his spirit growing in power with each passing day. In the heart of the Abbey's spirit grove, Sam learns to commune with the protective spirits. Their whispers guide him, revealing the depth of the generational vendetta that fuels Richard's curse. Alone in his quarters, Sam is visited by the spirits of his ancestors. They share their stories of love, loss, and regret, giving him the insight needed to understand the curse's origins. With his family's condition worsening, Sam performs a powerful healing ceremony. His hands glow with an ethereal light as he channels the energy of the spirits into Emily, Lily, and Jake. Their agony subsides, but the curse remains. At night in the library, Sister Maria reveals the truth about Richard's curse. It is not just a vendetta, but a pact with a malevolent entity. To break the pact, Sam must confront the darkness within Richard and sever the bond between them. The scene shifts to the Wilder home. The walls are adorned with protective charms, and the air is charged with the faint hum of spiritual energy. Emily and the children sleep peacefully, their breaths the only sound in the room. Sister Maria places the final piece of the puzzle before Sam, a talisman that can draw out the malevolent force from Richard. Sister Maria, you must not let anger or vengeance cloud your judgment. Sam used a talisman to free Richard from the demon's grasp. Only then can the curse be lifted. Under the moonlit canopy of the spirit grove, Sam performs the ritual to charge the talisman. His voice rises in a powerful chant, the spirits gathering around him, their whispers swelling into a crescendo. Sister Maria teaches Sam the ancient dance of the mindful warrior, a ritual that will allow him to confront the darkness without being consumed by it. Sam whispers, "I am ready." Sam returns home, the talisman in hand. The house seems eerily quiet, the air pregnant with anticipation. He finds Richard sitting in the shadows, a smug smile playing on his lips. Sam calmly, "Richard, it ends now." Richard laughing, "You think you can best me, Sam? I have tasted power beyond your wildest dreams." The dance of the mindful warrior begins. Sam moves with grace and precision, the talisman glinting in his hand. Richard's eyes widen in fear as he realizes the depth of Sam's transformation. The room is bathed in a kaleidoscope of colors as the two men engage in a metaphysical battle. Their movements a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. The dance reaches its climax. The talisman pulses with the energy of the spirits. Richard's eyes flicker with the presence of the malevolent entity. Sam firmly, "In the name of the light that dwells within us all, I command you to leave my family in peace." The entity emerges from Richard, a swirling maelstrom of darkness. It writhes and snarls, reaching out to claim Sam. The spirits converge, surrounding the entity. Their combined light forms a cage, trapping the darkness. Sam shouting, "I break the pact. Return to the abyss from which you came." The entity screeches and retreats into the talisman. Richard collapses, the curse lifted from his soul. Sam breathless, "Thank you, sister." Sister Maria's voice, though distant, fills the room. Sister Maria, remember, Sam, the battle is won, but the war is not over. The darkness may return in another guise. The morning after, Sam returns the talisman to Sister Maria, who nods with a knowing smile. Sister Maria whispers, "Your journey has only just begun." Back at home, Sam finds his family fully recovered, their smiles radiant in the morning light. They embrace, their hearts filled with love and gratitude. Later, Emily watches as Sam sits by the fireplace, a book of ancient incantations open before him. He glances up, a newfound peace in his eyes. Sam whispers, "We're safe now." Sam Wilder standing in the dimly lit library of his ancestral home, surrounded by dusty tomes and flickering candles. His eyes are heavy with the weight of his newfound knowledge, his heart racing with the anticipation of the battle ahead. The air is thick with the scent of incense, a blend of herbs and resins that Sister Maria has taught him to use for purification. His family's portraits watch over him from the walls, a silent reminder of the stakes he is about to confront. The camera pans to Sam's wife, Emily, lying weakly in her bed upstairs, her skin pale and eyes sunken. Lily and Jake are curled up beside her, their tiny forms frail under the protective embrace of their mother. The house, once filled with laughter and warmth, is now a mere shell of its former self, echoing with the hollowness of a life corroded by a malevolent force. The scene shifts to Sister Maria, her eyes closed in deep meditation, her hands resting on an ancient grimoire open to a page filled with intricate symbols and incantations. She has been guiding Sam through his preparations, her voice a soothing balm to his troubled mind. She speaks of the importance of purity of intent and the power of love in banishing darkness. Downstairs, Sam gathers the tools of his new trade: crystals, herbs, a silver dagger, and a chalice filled with holy water. His hands tremble slightly as he arranges them on the makeshift altar in the living room. The house is silent, save for the distant wail of the wind and the occasional cough from upstairs. With a deep breath, Sam begins the ritual. He recites the incantations taught to him by Sister Maria, his voice growing stronger with each word. The candles flicker more vigorously, and the shadows on the walls begin to twist and coil. The air vibrates with an unseen energy that seems to grow more intense with every passing moment. The door to the library creaks open, and Richard, the man whose envy has wrought this havoc, enters the room. His eyes are alight with a sinister glee as he watches Sam struggle with the ancient rites. He sneers, "You think you can undo what I've done? You're just a dabbler in the arts, a mere mortal playing with fire." Undeterred, Sam raises the silver dagger and points it at Richard. "Your time is up," he declares with a steely resolve. The curse ends tonight. The room shakes as the dark entity manifests, a swirling vortex of shadows that seems to suck the very light from the room. Richard's form becomes indistinct, his features twisting into a monstrous grin as he merges with the malevolent force. Sam's heart pounds in his chest as he steps into the eye of the storm, the light from the candles casting stark contrasts on his determined face. He recites the most powerful incantation Sister Maria has taught him, a spell that requires the purest of intentions and the strongest of wills. The shadows coalesce into a terrifying creature, its eyes burning with malice. It hisses and snarls, reaching out with tendrils of darkness to ensnare Sam. He holds his ground, the dagger glowing with a sacred light as he recites the incantation with a fervor that resonates through the house. Upstairs, Emily stirs from her sick bed, feeling a change in the air. She gathers her strength and descends the stairs, her children following close behind. They stand at the edge of the living room, their eyes wide with fear and hope as they watch their husband and father face the darkness. The battle of wills reaches a crescendo. The creature lunges at Sam, but he stands firm, his voice never wavering. The room is filled with the sound of his chanting, a cacophony of ancient syllables that pierce the silence like a sword through the heart of the shadowy beast. With a final, desperate effort, Sam thrusts the dagger into the heart of the creature. The room is bathed in a blinding light, and the dark entity lets out a shriek that seems to shatter the very fabric of reality. As the light fades, the creature dissipates, leaving only Richard's lifeless body on the floor. The room is still, the only sound the gentle weeping of the wind outside. Sam drops to his knees, exhausted but victorious. Emily and the children rush to him, their embrace a testament to the power of love over darkness. As they hold each other tightly, the house seems to sigh in relief, the curse finally lifted. The episode concludes with the family sitting together, the candles now casting a warm glow over their faces. The house is once again filled with the sounds of life, Lily's giggle, Jake's yawn, and the comforting murmur of Sam and Emily's voices. Sister Maria, watching from a distance, nods in satisfaction. Her mission is complete. She knows that Sam's journey is just beginning, but she also knows that he is ready to face whatever the future holds. The house once again a bastion of peace and love, as the words "The Great Unveiling" fade from the screen, with a sense of closure and the promise of a new beginning. Sam, his eyes reflect in the candlelight, as he whispers to his sleeping family. The illusion is shattered, but what remains is stronger than any curse. Our love, our bond, our truth. This is our new reality. The series ends on a hopeful note. The darkness banished, the truth revealed. The family, forever changed by their ordeal, emerges stronger, more united, ready to face whatever the future holds. And somewhere in the night, the whispers of fate are silenced, giving way to the promise of a new dawn. Sam Wilder, now a man with a newfound purpose, stands at the window, watching the sunrise. The shadows of the past have been banished, and in their place, a gentle peace has settled. The curse that once consumed their lives has been lifted, and the air is filled with the sweet scent of redemption and hope. The house is alive with the sounds of a family reborn. Emily, Sam's devoted wife, is in the kitchen, her laughter mingling with the clinking of pans as she prepares breakfast. Lily, their eldest, her health restored, plays the piano, her melodies resonating throughout the house. And young Jake, whose spirit had been dimmed by the malevolent force, is outside, the echoes of his joyous laughter carrying in through the open windows. The previous evening had been a battleground of wills and a dance with the darkness. Sam had faced the abyss and emerged victorious, thanks to Sister Maria's guidance and the unwavering love of his family. The ritual had been a trial of fire, a test of his courage and conviction. As the final incantation left his lips, the room had filled with a blinding light, and the dark entity that had plagued them dissipated into nothingness. Now, in the aftermath, Sam is a changed man. The suit and tie that once defined him discarded in his closet, replaced by a simpler attire that reflects his newfound spirituality. The house, once a bastion of material success, has been transformed into a sanctuary of peace and healing. The doorbell chimes, a sound that had once sent shivers down Sam's spine, signaling the arrival of another client at his law firm. But today, it heralds a new beginning. Sister Maria stands on the porch, a knowing smile playing on her lips. She has come to bestow upon him a title that speaks to the depth of his transformation: Healer. The title comes with a gift, a small, leather-bound book. "This is the book of the ancestors," she says, her eyes shining with pride. "It contains the wisdom of those who have come before you, those who have fought the same battles and emerged as guardians of the light." Sam takes the book, feeling its weight and the power contained within its pages. Sister Maria places her hand on his shoulder. "Your journey is far from over, Sam. The world is full of lost souls in need of guidance. Now that you have conquered the darkness within, you must go forth and help others do the same." The first client arrives, a young woman named Laura, whose husband is plagued by nightmares and inexplicable illnesses. As she speaks, Sam listens with an open heart, the whispers of the spirit world guiding him. He recognizes the same dark threads that once entangled his own family. With gentle assurance, Sam begins the process of purification. He lights candles, burns sage, and recites ancient incantations. Laura watches, her eyes wide with a mix of hope and skepticism. As the ritual unfolds, the air thickens, and the room vibrates with unseen energy. Sam feels the presence of the protective spirits that have chosen to stand by his side, offering their strength in his fight against the shadows. Days turn into weeks, and Sam's reputation as a healer grows. His modest practice becomes a beacon for those seeking relief from the unexplained. His former colleagues whisper about his transformation, some with disbelief, others with a newfound respect. Yet, Sam remains grounded, his focus solely on the well-being of those who seek his aid. One evening, as he is about to close up, a desperate man named Daniel stumbles in. His son is trapped in a coma, a victim of a mysterious and malevolent force that the doctors cannot identify. Sam nods solemnly, understanding the depth of his pain. He agrees to help, knowing that the fight against darkness is never truly over. In the hospital room, Surrounded by the hum of machines and the scent of antiseptic, Sam performs a healing ceremony. The air grows heavy with anticipation as he calls upon the light to dispel the shadows that have claimed the young boy. His voice is steady, his resolve unyielding. The boy's mother, Rachel, holds her son's hand, her eyes never leaving Sam's. The room grows colder, and the shadows seem to coalesce into a tangible form. Sam feels the weight of the curse, the malicious intent of the one who had cast it. He draws upon the power of the ancestors and the love of his own family, channeling it into a shield of light that surrounds the boy's bed. The darkness recoils, hissing and snarling. In the corner of the room, Rachel gasps as she sees the shadowy figure retreat before her eyes. Her son's hand twitches, and his eyelids flutter open. The machines beep in a steady rhythm once more, and the color returns to the boy's cheeks. Rachel bursts into tears, her gratitude a balm to Sam's weary soul. The boy's recovery is a miracle, one that spreads quickly through the hospital. The doctors are baffled, but Rachel knows the truth. She shares her story with others, and soon, more people come to Sam for help. The once skeptical hospital staff begin to refer patients to him, those whose ailments have no place in medical textbooks. At home, Emily supports Sam's new calling. She understands the toll it takes on him, the late nights, and the emotional turmoil. Yet, she sees the light in his eyes, the purpose that has given him a new lease on life. Together, they rebuild their family's foundation, stronger and more resilient than ever before. As Sam's work grows, so does his understanding of the spiritual realm. He begins to see the interconnectedness of all things, the delicate balance between light and dark, and the endless potential for good that lies within each human soul. He becomes not just a healer, but a teacher, guiding others to find their inner strength and embrace their spiritual heritage. One evening, as the family gathers around the dinner table, Lily asks about the book. Sam opens it, revealing pages filled with arcane symbols and incantations. He explains that it is a gift from Sister Maria, a tool to help him in his quest to bring peace to the troubled. Jake, ever curious, asks if he can learn the spells too. Sam smiles, knowing that the time will come when his children will also bear the mantle of protection. The season changes, and the leaves outside the window are touched by the first kiss of autumn. In the quiet of his study, Sam reflects on the journey that has brought him here. He opens the book of the ancestors, feeling the warmth of the generations that have come before him. His hand traces the words of a spell that calls for inner strength and courage. The episode closes with Sam standing at the threshold of his home, the wind whispering through the trees. He is no longer the man who once sought power in the material world. He is a guardian of the light, a warrior of the spirit, ready to face whatever challenges the darkness may bring. His eyes are clear, his heart is open, and his spirit is unbroken. Sam, Emily, Lily, and Jake, their arms entwined as they stand in a circle of protection, the light from the setting sun casting a warm glow around them. They are a family reborn, united by love and purpose. As they recite the ancient incantation together, the camera pulls back, revealing the symbol of their unity etched into the very fabric of their home, a beacon of hope in the battle against the shadows that lurk just beyond the veil. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with a sense of quiet triumph and the knowledge that the Wilder family story is far from over. For in the world of the unseen, there is always more to discover, more to learn, and more to heal. A serene morning at the Wilder household, the scent of freshly brewed coffee wafts through the air. Sam Wilder, now known as Healer Sam, sits at his desk, surrounded by ancient tomes and sacred artifacts. The once skeptical and successful lawyer is now a beacon of hope for those lost in the shadows of the supernatural. His eyes, filled with newfound wisdom, scan the pages of an ancient grimoire, searching for guidance in his new life's work. The doorbell rings, interrupting the quietude. It's the mailman with a letter addressed to the healer. Sam's heart races as he opens it, finding a desperate plea for help from a stranger whose family is plagued by inexplicable events. This is not the first such letter he's received since he opened his practice. but it stirs something within him, a sense of urgency, a whisper of a challenge far greater than he's ever faced. The camera pans to the local coffee shop, where Sam meets with his former colleagues, now clients. They share tales of their newfound peace and gratitude, their lives forever changed by his intervention. Yet, beneath the surface of their smiles, Sam senses a lingering fear, a reminder that the battle against the darkness is never truly won. At the office, Sam's assistant, Rachel, informs him of an unusual spike in supernatural occurrences around town. The whispers of the spirit world grow louder, hinting at a looming threat. Despite the warmth of Rachel's company, he can't shake the feeling that he's being watched, a shadowy presence waiting in the wings. Emily, Sam's ever-supportive wife, enters the room with a gentle knock. She notices the tension in his shoulders and the furrow in his brow. Concerned, she asks if he's okay. Sam sighs, explaining the letter and the eerie premonition that has settled over him. Emily, who has also grown spiritually since the curse, places a comforting hand on his shoulder, reminding him that they face this new chapter together. The story unfolds as Sam embarks on a series of increasingly complex cases. Each case peels back another layer of the supernatural world, revealing a tapestry of interconnected destinies and ancient feuds. Through his work, Sam becomes the town's guardian, his reputation spreading like wildfire. Meanwhile, Richard, the once envious relative, watches from the shadows. The failure of his curse has left him broken and desperate for power. He discovers a dark artifact, a tome bound in the skin of a demon, promising to amplify his abilities. Driven by bitterness, he delves deeper into the malevolent arts, setting in motion a series of events that threaten to engulf the town in darkness once more. As the shadows lengthen, Sam is called to a local orphanage, where the children are plagued by terrifying nightmares. His investigations lead him to a forgotten cemetery, the resting place of a vengeful spirit seeking justice. Through patience and empathy, Sam uncovers the spirit's tragic story and helps it find peace, lifting the dark cloud from the orphanage. Rachel, who has developed her own psychic abilities, shares a disturbing vision with Sam. The spirit world is in turmoil, and a powerful force is gathering strength, poised to strike at the heart of their reality. The vision reveals the shadowy figure orchestrating the chaos, none other than Richard. Confronted with this revelation, Sam must now prepare for a battle that is both personal and universal. His family's curse was merely a catalyst for his spiritual awakening, a test of his resolve. Now, as the healer, he must face his greatest adversary, his own flesh and blood. The climax unfolds in a dramatic showdown between Sam and Richard in the Wilder family's ancestral home. The house, once a bastion of love and joy, now echoes with the cries of past tragedies. Sam's newfound strength and knowledge face off against Richard's amplified dark power. The air crackles with arcane energy as spells are cast and countered. In a moment of clarity, Sam realizes that the true enemy is not Richard, but the darkness within him. Drawing on the love of his family and the wisdom of Sister Maria, Sam reaches out to the tortured soul of his relative. Through a heart-wrenching conversation, he manages to break through Richard's anger and resentment. The house shakes as the malevolent force is expelled from Richard's being, leaving him weak and lost. Sam, extending a hand of forgiveness and compassion, helps him to his feet, offering to guide him towards the light. The scene is a poignant reminder that even in the darkest of moments, redemption is possible. As the dust settles, the town begins to heal. The people, touched by Sam's selflessness, rally around him, offering their support. The spirit world, now at peace, showers him with a gentle glow of gratitude. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Have you experienced a spine-chilling horror that left you trembling? Share your terrifying tale with us by emailing nightmarenetwork.com, and we'd be thrilled to feature it on our platform.